Hello everyone, and happy March. Last year I made a video called My Korean Study Routine. A lot of you seemed to like it, but there were also quite a few people who either didn't want to pay for the books I used or couldn't. So I wanted to make a free/affordable ways to study Korean video, perfect for beginners. I will mention 7 different ways to study Korean, but these methods work for any language as well. Let's start with tip 1 or method 1, which is to watch YouTube videos. There are so many channels on YouTube who teach language lessons. You just have to search for what you want. If you are a complete beginner, I 100% recommend you take the time to learn the Korean alphabet, Hangul. Don't rely on romanization, it will mess with your pronunciation. I will leave a link to the videos I've used in the description. Some YouTubers I recommend are Korean Only, Talk to Me Korean, Miss Vicky. There are many more. When you are watching these, treat it like a class, take notes, and review them often. 9. Tip number 2, phone apps. There are so many free apps out there that teach languages. I think these are good because most of them are catered for beginners. It's perfect to use when you're waiting in line, riding a train, walking your dog. One app I'd recommend that I still use is Memrise. It's easy to use and I like the content. Tip 3, the library. This one may vary depending on where you live, but be sure to check your local library for Korean language books. Some have textbooks or workbooks you can use, but some don't. My library in the US only has Korean novels, but you can still use those even if you're a beginner for reading Hangul and vocabulary practice. So what you would do is find a Korean language book and read. You're going to have to know how to read Hangul. It doesn't matter how slow or how fast you are, we all go at our own pace. So while you're reading, you strengthen your Hangul skills, but I also want you to look out for vocab words you know. It can be 1 a page, 5 per page, it doesn't matter. And write them down. It's a triple whammy. You're improving your reading skills, improving your comprehension, and you'll improve your Hangul handwriting. Now, if you're a complete beginner, you'll probably ask, well, I don't know that many vocabulary words. How do I learn them? Well, that brings us to method 4, which is vocabulary. To me, learning vocabulary before jumping into grammar makes it seem less intimidating while learning. Memorizing vocabulary is fun to me. When you move on to grammar, you can just plug in the words you already know into the proper grammar structure. So I recommend you load up on your vocab. But how? Well, I googled search Korean vocabulary list and tons popped up. I will link a few in the description. The lists I link are organized by weeks, so if you're a complete beginner, start with week 1 and go from there. Memorizing vocab is my favorite. Maybe I'm weird. So different ways to memorize Korean words are, but not limited to, Quizlet. You can make your own flashcards, or you can use ones that other people have made if you don't like to make your own. If you're the old-fashioned way, you can make your own physical flashcards, either out of actual flashcards or cut up some paper into small rectangles and use that. You can also post sticky notes around your house, so every time you look at the laptop, you're like notebook, or you can have a notebook for vocabulary and just write the words over and over. Who said learning a language has to be boring? The more fun you make it, the stronger possibility you'll stick with it and not give up. Watching Korean content can not only improve your listening skills, but can improve your accent. If you are focusing on how they move their mouth and how their voice sounds when they talk, I want you to try and imitate how they sound. You may sound bad or even cringe at first, but the more you practice, the better you'll get. Also, while you're watching these dramas, keep a notebook by you and listen for words you know. When you hear a word you know, write it down. Simple, yet effective for listening and remembering words. So you should watch dramas, movies, and try to find Korean YouTubers who only speak in Korean so you can get a feel of how everyday people speak and get a feel for everyday Korean life. Speaking of everyday Korean life, let's move on to tip 6, which is Korean culture. You've been learning the language, but we shouldn't forget about learning a little Korean culture. So if you ever get the chance to go to Korea or meet a Korean family, you won't accidentally do anything that's offensive or rude. Watching vlogs is a good start to see how some Koreans spend their day. Also, another YouTuber called Sweet and Tasty TV posts videos on Korean culture and what to do around Korea, stuff like that. If you like to cook, I want you to make simple Korean dishes such as kimchi fried rice, Korean curry, tteokbokki, and the famous bibimbap. Or go to a restaurant, either is fine. This will give you a chance to taste what Koreans have been eating for years, and also Korean food is really good, so I recommend it. And now for our last tip of the day, which is a very important one, at-home immersion. I'm going to assume most of you don't live in Korea, and the best way to learn a language is to immerse yourself. So if you don't live in that country, how do you do it? By slightly changing the things you already do. For example, whenever you listen to music, just listen to Korean music if you already don't. Listen to Korean podcasts while doing things such as cleaning, doing your makeup, walking your dog, on your way to school. Even if you don't understand much yet, you'll get used to how Korean sounds. If you work out at home, search for workouts done by Korean YouTubers. You'll get fit and learn new vocab. I will link a few below. Change your phone settings to the language of your choice. Also, when you go grocery shopping, write your list in Korean. It will help you remember the word by associating it with its object. And lastly, if you like to play video games, try to change the settings and play it in Korean. I think it'll be fun. I might be testing how to play Sims in Korean. That'll be fun. And that's all I have for today. Let me know if you'll use any of these tips or include some of them in your current study routine. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in next week's video. Bye!